So, as I said, welcome to our session. We normally do this stuff very often, and today we'll be doing it in English. We normally do it in Swahili most of the time, but because of having non-speaking Swahili guys from Nigeria, Zambia, Namibia, and some of the guys from the US, so we have to use English. So it will be more interactive. So I will need all of you guys where needed to chip in because I'm not just here to speak on my own. I want you also to participate. So I'll be asking some questions where you can respond. It will help me to make sure we're in the same line. So I'm sure all of you know that we live in the 21st century where everything is changing. Things have changed. We no longer live in cages. We no longer do all those stuff we used to do those days. But the world has changed, and we have to change with it. Unfortunately, to the majority of the people, they have no idea what is happening because I don't know, because of the school they went to, or maybe because of the environment they live in. They think everything is still fine. But all in all, things have changed. As you can see on the screen, we used to say that oil is the new gold, but it's no longer a new gold, but oil is fading away. But data now is the new oil. Why it is a new oil? Because with data, you can do so many things at your disposal. And think of what is happening on our social medias. You see? So this is how the world is changing. So it's better for us to go with it. Otherwise, we are going to be left behind. And here and there will complain that what's the use of living on this earth while I can't even achieve whatever stuff I want. So as you can see on the screen, for some of you who are still thinking maybe by having a job you can change your life, or maybe by having an MBA your life can change, you need to think twice. Things are not going in the same way. Things are not going the same way. So it's better to think different ways. Different ways, because even if you find a job, as long as they pay you salary, you are still a slave. It's not a really good word to use it, but that's the reality. Because if you are depending on your life on somebody to pay you, the day they decide to kick you out of the office, and then how are you going to survive? And we have a huge family, especially in Africa. So you guys, just think about it. You wake up early in the morning, you go to work 8 hours, and then you come back home. At the end of the year, you ask for holiday, and then the boss said, no, you're not going to the holiday, sort of. Or with the technology, they can even kick you out of the office because the computer will take out all the jobs. And this is the kind of world we are living now. So it's not easy to live the kind of stuff we are used to because this is what we know. School, and once you graduate, you know you'll find a job. And if you can't find a job, and then what happens? I'm sure whether you're in Nigeria or you're in the United States or you're in Zambia, you know that there's not enough jobs out there, and those few jobs which are still there, the pay is not that much. And the kind of world we live in, we have a lot of expense. We want to buy everything, but how can you afford using your salary? So we better find another or other ways how we can really change our lives. So what I can say, we are the creator of whatever stuff we want ourselves. So it's better for you to be an open-minded and try to find what is hindering your growth. What is hindering your growth? Because if you don't do that, you die in poverty. And if you die in poverty, according to my understanding, it's a sin to die in poverty. So the only devil is our minds. So we better clear what is in our mind, and at the same time also we need to be careful on what we feed on our mind. Garbage in, garbage out. So also the kind of people you're surrounded with, you have to be careful because most of the time think of. We sit down, watch TV, read local newspapers, listen to radio, or we spend most of the time on the social media, Instagram, checking what's happening with Kardashian and other stuff. But we are polluting our minds. We're polluting our minds. At the same time, if you check on our finance side, we are really in trouble. So it's very to be very useful for you to find a ways how you can build apps instead of just selling your time because they pay you salary. Salary, as I said, is a new slavery, and you better get out of that place and find a way how we can create jobs for others. Remember, we are here for a purpose, and our days are numbered. So it's just a matter of time. So sooner or later, you'll be gone, and then how will you be remembered then, if that's the case? So, with that in mind, now I want you to think about the rise of artificial intelligence. I don't know, you know how impactful is the artificial intelligence, but I'll take you through a little bit so you can really understand what does it mean and how do you position yourself in this kind of world we live in. I'm sure you've heard of this called Amazon.com. Amazon, they are using drone to deliver their packages. What you see on the screen is a drone. It's going to deliver books for guys who have bought books from Amazon.com. So in order for you to understand really, I have managed to find a video. Just have a look and see what happens to the drone so that you can really understand that whatever stuff you have may not work. Just see what is happening on the screen. Do you see what is happening? I want you to think twice about this kind of things. That's the kind of world we live in. It's not only that. This Amazon is changing everything. Currently, they are having a cashless store. You go to walk in, you go to Mlimani City. For some of you are in Dar es Salaam, and instead of find a cashier and other stuff, nobody's there to collect your cash. You just pick your stuff and go. So I want you to feel it so you can really understand that this is the world we live in. I'm talking about the rise of artificial intelligence.
4 years ago, we started to wonder, what would shopping look like if you could walk into a store, grab what you want, and just go? What if we could weave the most advanced machine learning, computer vision, and AI into the very fabric of a store so you never have to wait in line? No lines, no checkouts, no registers. Welcome to Amazon Go. Use the Amazon Go app to enter. Then put away your phone and start shopping. It's really that simple. Take whatever you like. Anything you pick up is automatically added to your virtual cart. If you change your mind about that cupcake, just put it back. Our technology will update your virtual cart automatically. So how does it work? We used computer vision, deep learning algorithms, and sensor fusion, much like you'd find in self-driving cars. We call it Just Walk Out technology. Once you've got everything you want, you can just go. When you leave, our Just Walk Out technology adds up your virtual cart and charges your Amazon account. Your receipt is sent straight to the app. and you can keep going. Amazon Go. No lines, no checkout. No, seriously.
Hello. No lines, no checkout. Just walk in, grab the stuff you want, and you go. So whoever is in this webinar and you are planning maybe to open up your business, and you are thinking, how many employees should you have? You see how the technology can change your life and work on your advantage. And also, I haven't seen this in Tanzania, but if you go in other countries, you go to Japan, China, they have robots in the hotels. We don't have waitress or waiters. Robots are doing everything. Think about that. In Japan, in fact, they have even monkeys. They have monkeys who are working in the hotel. They don't have holiday. They don't have sick leave, whatever. They're always working. I want you to think twice. And we have the institute here. They call it Hotel Management Institute. They teach people to become waitress and waiters while their jobs are being taken by technology. Think about it. Think about it. Anyway, so what can we do now if that's the case? We need to find a way how we can create a passive income. The passive income is something which you do the work now, but you get paid over and over again. It's not salary, but you do something now, but you get paid over and over again. Whether you're alive or dead, you can still make your money. So even your family can take care of whatever stuff is there. So I want you to think about it, and how can you now find a way how you can create a passive income. This is the kind of topic I want to talk about, because the entire topic is about how you can invest in other people and become a millionaire. So when you're talking about financial freedom, it means you're having enough money. It means you don't worry whether you get sick or whatever. And to me, when you say you are financially free, it means you can live for 20 years doing nothing and still maintain your lifestyle. Think of the kind of stuff you are doing now. Are you financially free? Are you heading to the financial freedom, or you are just moving around? So some of you may think maybe in order for me to become financially free, I have to go to school, maybe get another degree or go for whatever, sort of the PhD. As far as business is concerned, you don't need all those stuff. So I managed to find people who are very successful and trying to share with us what do we need to make it in life or in business in general. So just bear with me. I'm gonna play this video. It's gonna take like 2-3 minutes. Just listen and find out how it can resonate with you, the kind of life you're in now.
Right now, because
I'm with.
It's not. There's no need even to have a college degree, or even high school. I mean, if somebody graduated from a great university, that may be an indication that they will be capable of great things, but it's not necessarily the case. You know, if you look at, say, people like Bill Gates or Larry Ellison, Steve Jobs, these guys didn't graduate from college. But if you had a chance to hire them, of course, that would be a good idea.
Yeah.
I mean, it's actually kind of funny. You know, if you think of like what is education, like you're basically downloading data and algorithms into your brain, and it's actually amazingly bad in conventional education, because like it shouldn't be like this huge chore. You've got you know, someone standing up there kind of lecturing at people, and they've done the same lecture 20 years in a row, and they're not very excited about it. And in fact, a lot of things people learn probably there's no point in learning them, because they never use them in the future. Because a lot of kids are just in school kind of puzzled as to why they're there.
Well, oftentimes business education today, and I see it all the time, kids come out of college, the best colleges, Wharton and Harvard and Stanford and some of the great business schools, and they'll come out and they won't have practical experience. There's too many case studies that aren't practical.
The people who are doing the work that we care about are figuring out what to do next, not following the person who told them
what to do next. And the problem with most colleges is they are high school, but with more binge drinking.
The A students work for the B students. The C students run the businesses, and the D students dedicate the buildings.
The entire purpose of a good university is to give you a foundation to fail, not a foundation to get an A. And if you graduate from college with straight A's, you have to do some serious soul searching as to why you chose to spend your time doing that.
For most people, you go to school, they tell you what class to go to, what classes to take. This goes all the way through university. They do this, do this, and then you go into the class and they say, learn this, and this is the information. And it's largely a memory-based, instructional-based process. I hated school. I really hated school. I hated school, generally, right? Because it was this instruction following thing. Now, I bet you it's probably also because I wasn't good at it. And some people, like I've got a great conceptual memory and a terrible rote memory. So if I have a story, I could tell you year by year kind of what happened within a story, within a context. But if I was to go into, like a memory-based learning, it's terrible. I have a terrible rote memory. Ego.
You guys, I guess you got something out of this. Probably, if I can have feedback from you, they are talking about you don't need to have all those stuff, the so-called degrees, in order for you to achieve whatever stuff you want to achieve. But I want to make sure that we are all aboard. So I want feedback from you. Did you learn something from the clip I have just played? I don't know, where should I go? Zuhura, can you say something from the clip? Did you get something out of it? Zuhura Mustafa. Okay, she's not there. Zuhura Mustafa, do you hear me? Let me go to, okay, OS. Okay, I'm coming back to you, Leila. Leila, can you say something from the clip? Did you learn something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I realized having the degree is really not like the number one thing to be successful in life.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I learned from the clip.
Did you know that before, or you just said it now?
Yes, I knew that from before.
So
I knew that. I've seen a few successful people who are not learned, so it's not a new thing. It's an obvious thing, though we all have that concept in mind that you should go to school to be successful.
So how many people do you know in your area who have degrees but their life is miserable?
I know plenty of them. Plenty of them.
Okay, so what can we do then to reverse the situation?
I'm also here to learn, so let's know what we can do to reverse out this situation.
Okay, fine. Okay, thank you for sharing.
Thank you.
Yeah, that was Laila from Arusha. And let me go again for this guy again. I think this is my last video, sort of. So I want you to listen to this one as well. He's still talking the same thing and see if
success is not the key to happiness. Happiness is the key to success. If you love what you're doing, you will be successful. Hello, I'm Brian Tracy, and today I want to talk to you about a topic that is becoming increasingly popular, and that is whether or not you need a college degree to be successful. As many of you know, I never attended college and barely graduated from high school. I sometimes say that I was in the bottom half of the class that made the top half possible. Because of this, I'm always asked how I achieved success and a long, fulfilling career without attending college. Now, with the rising cost of a college education, this topic has come into the limelight even more so in the past few years, with a lot of individuals wondering whether it makes sense to pay tens of thousands and sometimes hundreds of thousands of dollars for a college education, and whether or not it is really necessary in order to achieve success. If you are on the fence about the merits of a college degree, the first questions I would suggest asking yourself are, what are my goals? What do I want to do for my career later in life? Now, if the answer to that question is that you want to be a lawyer or a doctor or a scientist, then the answer is simple, and yes, you do need to go to college in order to pursue those career choices. It would be impossible to reach those goals otherwise. If your dream career is more along the lines of wanting to be a chef or a journalist or work in marketing, then a college degree may not be a necessary step in your career path. Even if college is not necessary for your desired career, one important thing to remember is that there's a lot more to college than just the classes and the degree. It's an opportunity to get to learn who you really are and what you really want to do with your life and meet new individuals who could ultimately help you in your future career. So many individuals who went to college say it was one of the best experiences of their lives and taught them a lot more than what they actually learned in their classes. Now, for some of us, our future career goals may not be as cut and dried if we don't know exactly what we want to do just yet. At the young age of 17 or 18, many of us don't know what we want to do for our career in the long term. And that's okay. I worked at odd jobs here and there and plenty of manual labor jobs before I ultimately discovered what I wanted to do for my career. The fact is, some people need more time than others to discover what they want to do with their lives. And rushing into college could potentially force your hand into a career you may not want 5 or 10 years down the line. Taking some time to truly figure out what it is you want from your life and career could be beneficial for some people. Nowadays, depending upon your field of choice, there are plenty of successful people without college degrees. That list includes Steve Jobs, Richard Branson, Wolfgang Puck, Bill Gates, the richest man in the world, and many others. So the best thing you could do for yourself is not live your life based on what others think you should do, and do what you feel is best for yourself. Just because one person went to college and is successful does not mean that that is the only path to success. Determine what is best for you and your future goals, and then pursue that no matter what the journey looks like. Keep in mind a quote from Albert Schweitzer, and that is, success is not the key to happiness. Happiness is the key to success. If you love what you're doing, you will be successful. Now, I'd love to hear from you, so my question today is this. What is your ultimate career goal that you would like to achieve sometime in the future? Leave a comment below, and I'll be sure to follow up with you.
Okay, that was Brian Tracy. He's a millionaire, but later he went to college to get his degree, but he succeeded without having a college degree. So the issue is to do what you love. The passion has to be there, and you don't need to compare yourself with anybody, because when God created you, you are special. You are the only person on this earth, and the day we lose you, that's it. So I'm trying to remind you guys that you have something potential that is deep down inside of you, and the issue now is to find it. You need to find it. Unfortunately, we give up very easily. So the entire session here has tried to help you up to have a really tough mindset when it comes to entrepreneurship. So we need to find ways how we can leverage our time and effort. Like what you can see on the screen, 20% of your effort gives you 80% of the results. That's the way forward. It works against the employment, because when you're employed, you know what happens. But I'm trying to share with you guys, you can understand how you can use other people's effort and energy to achieve whatever stuff you want. So if you are talking about passive income or financial freedom, you better learn how to become an entrepreneur, and that's where the challenge is. Most of people, when we talk about entrepreneur, they think I should have a lot of money, I should hire an office somewhere. You don't need to do all those stuff because having a smartphone nowadays, you can just become a millionaire. And in fact, somebody just said, if you're having a smartphone and you are still poor, it means you are using it in a wrong way. My fellow Tanzanians, if you are having a smartphone and you are still poor, it means you are using your smartphone in a wrong way. So it's better for you to pay attention to what is happening in the world. So it's not easy to become an entrepreneur because if you know when you want to become an entrepreneur, you need to understand that there are three components when it comes to entrepreneurship. We have a person called a technician. Technician is part of the entrepreneur package. It's inside of the entrepreneur. So when you become a technician, it means maybe you have your college degree, you're an engineer, you're a doctor, you're an accountant, a sort of. You're just a technician. So having a technical knowledge does not give you a license to run a successful business. And inside the entrepreneurship or inside of the business also, there's a person called the manager. And most of the school we went to, they teach us or they prepare us to become managers. So a manager means you manage a system. You manage a system, you manage people. So if you want to be really a successful entrepreneur, you don't need to be a manager. Think of Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ, he went out and got only 12 disciples. And how many Christians do we have now? So I can say Jesus Christ, he was an entrepreneur because he left many, many years ago, but his church or his Christianity is still going around for years and years, despite him having only 12 people. They were called the disciples. Adolf Hitler had millions and millions of followers, but Adolf Hitler is gone, and even his followers also are gone. But Jesus had only 12 disciples, but how many Christians do we have? So I want you to understand that when it comes to entrepreneurship, don't be a technician, don't be a manager. You need to be a visionary. You need to be a visionary. It means you can see far, far, far. But for you to understand exactly what I'm talking about, it's better to really be yourself because most of the time, as I said, we try to compare ourselves with others. We think because I don't have a college degree, because my GPA wasn't good, because I don't look my dad, I don't look like my mom, so I can't make it. But the issue is try to think twice and try to spend time alone. Try to find something in you that you can give to the market because the way is to solve problems in society. So whenever the problem or challenge in the society, it's an opportunity for you. So try to find those kind of stuff and how can you solve it as fast as you can, and then you'll be successful. So while you're doing that now, make sure you really know that you are the master of your destiny, nobody to blame. Even if you have parents or your parents are all gone, whatever, but thank God that you are still alive. So you can be whoever you want. The issue is what kind of people do you align yourself with? And with that in mind, you don't need to be any photocopy. Just be yourself. Be original. And in order for you to be original, it means that's where the creativity comes in Africa, I'm talking, most of the guys in Africa, we don't think. We just copy and paste, copy and paste. Uh, you know, just go around and read people's CV. You'll be shocked. They copy even people's names on their CV. So let us find ways to become creative. And in doing so, we can really change the world and make Tanzania or in Africa a better place to live. So once you decide that, you should be willing to die for whatever decision you make. Because as you can see on the screen, you don't bend, don't water it down, don't try to make it logical. Don't edit. Just focus and focus and focus and see what's going to happen. And it's not going to be easier, yes, but champions are not made in the gym. You have to go out there and you're going to fail, you're going to fall down several times, but you just get up and move on. So I have this guy. He's the king or the guru for when it comes to small businesses. Maybe it's better to share with you guys how you can really become a successful entrepreneur. As I asked you from the beginning, you need to have a pen and somewhere to write it because he has really good information about entrepreneurship. It's going to talk about the difference between a dreamer, a thinker, storyteller, and a leader. So enjoy from this guy.
Yes, awesome. What is it?
Yeah.
So entrepreneurship is 4 different qualities and 4 different personalities. An entrepreneur is 4 different guys. And it's the dreamer, the thinker, the storyteller, and the leader. And you combine those 4 and you have an entrepreneur. You subtract any one of them and you have somebody who's going to be struggling. It doesn't mean that the guy who, in fact, is a dreamer, a thinker, a storyteller, and a leader doesn't struggle. Walt Disney struggled, Steve Jobs struggled, everybody struggles. Right? Everybody struggles with what we don't know and what we're learning. But the dreamer has a dream, the thinker has a vision, the storyteller has a purpose, and the leader has a mission. Without the dream, the vision is truncated. Without the dream, the vision becomes an objective. Without the dream, the vision doesn't hold deep meaning. Until you understand that the vision is only real when it relates to a dream, then you understand what's missing in 99% of all companies. There is no dream. But you understand there is no dream in the person who founded it. There's just an objective, an outcome he wants to get. It's something he wants to get as opposed to something he wants to create. Right. So the dreamer, the thinker, the storyteller, the leader. So now we see that as a process. So the thinker thinks through what the dreamer dreams through. And those 2 personalities are completely necessary, but insufficient on their own. Right. So you understand that's a process. And the evolution of that process goes from when you first started, and then you improve upon it, and then so innovation, quantification, orchestration, we discovered was the business development process. Right. It's continuous. That's a process. That process produces an insight. That insight produces an epiphany. That epiphany produces the energy to get understanding about what all we're talking about, which then we can do and test by actually practicing it, which we can then work on as we improve upon it, and on and on and on. So you see, everything is a system. Everything.
Right.
Because if it weren't, it would just be chaos.
Which every now and then.
Which happens every now and then. Yes.
You guys, you got him. He was talking about business itself. It's not a matter of just making money. You have to create something. You have to add value to the marketplace. But most of the business we see around, they are run by the wrong people. Their motive is just make money, and it doesn't work because money is just a byproduct. It's a byproduct. So if you want really to become an entrepreneur, you need to become that person, and it's not easy. You just don't wake up in the morning and say, I'm an entrepreneur. You know, it's a process. It's a process, and once you become that person, it means you sleep with the same idea, you wake up with the same idea, day in, day out. And once you become that person, it means even you can change your attire. You dress like a successful person other than like a prospect, like a thief or something. And in doing so, it means you have to find mentors and coaches that will guide you and help you to go through when the going gets tough. because if you don't achieve mental toughness, anything can happen. Anything can happen, and you'll be in trouble. So once you become that person, the next move, what you need to do is to take action. And that's where the challenge is now, because sometimes you find people, they say, I'm going to do this for 2 years. If I want to make it, I'll just quit. You see, this is the wrong and polluted mind. You don't need to put a time frame. There is no need to put a time frame, because uh, as long as you're doing it right, it's just a matter of time. It's like when you plant a seed, you can water a seed, but you can't force it to come out, because that's how it is. So once you do the work, and then the final thing is the outcome. So whether it might be money or status, you name it. So it's a process. That's what I was talking about. So whoever is in this webinar and you are planning to become an entrepreneur, you should make sure that you go through the process, and somewhere you will need people. So what you need to understand, if you run a business, it means it has to have a system, have people who are well educated than you to help you to go through. But what kind of business can you do so that and help you to go through? Unfortunately, I don't know who is this person here. You guys, sorry for interruption. Whoever is in the webinar, please, can you switch off your microphone? Okay. I was talking about what kind of business can you do so that you can really have a system and have people work for you. Unfortunately, most of the business we have in Africa, you find it's a family business. So if the father is not in the shop or in the office, the spouse or the wife is there. If not the wife, maybe some other relatives, sort of. And when the owner dies, and then the business also dies. So it's not the kind of business you are talking about. You are talking a business that doesn't depend on you. And then now let me take you through what kind of business can you do to really uh, uh, benefit whatever I was talking about, the passive income and financial freedom. So you can take advantage of the existing companies. Think of the way Facebook is operating. It's not only Facebook. There are so many platform companies nowadays. Either you can open up or you can create yours, or you can just join the existing one. Think of Facebook, as I said. At the same time, also, there are Uber. You have heard about Uber. Uber is a platform company as well. It's an American company, but it's almost all over the world. They don't own any cars, but they have more cars than any combined any car manufacturing companies. So those are platform companies, and people are making money out of them. So if you can do those stuff. They call it platform companies. Think of Airbnb. This is bed and breakfast. This is another way people can create jobs for other people and also start making money. These are platform companies. I just want you to understand that this company doesn't own any building, any hotel, nothing whatsoever. They just have a system. They have a platform where the house is yours, but you're making money from them. You see, for some of you guys who are in this webinar, you better take advantage of the Air Bed and Breakfast. It's a very good model, and people are really cashing in very, very well. You have a big house and you are staying alone, and some few rooms are just empty. You can just rent it through Air Bed and Breakfast. These are platform companies. Yeah, and the other thing, what you can do, you can also venture into real estate, and this is a more challenging area because it takes time, and you need to be very, very much knowledgeable because the location also matters. It's not a matter of having a building somewhere, but where is it located? Yeah. So, but this is a capital intensive. But you need to understand that you can use other people's money. You can use banks' money. But before you take a loan from the bank, you better know who is going to pay back. But it takes almost 25 to 30 years for you to to start cashing, to start really having the so-called passive income. But it's a good investment. I was expecting somebody from Zambia. There's one lady in Zambia. She has decided to invest in real estate. So I wanted her to share with us her experience. She has been a lawyer for a long time. But just recently, she decided to quit her job and she decided to invest in real estate. So I wanted her to speak about it. Unfortunately, she's not logged in at the moment, but I'll just proceed. So this is one way. This is one way. And for some of you who listen to this webinar, it's not easy, but I can say it's not hard. It's not easy. You can find if you live in city and maybe you spot a developed area, you can find investors. You can find investors. So it depends on how you negotiate. So you need to learn on how to negotiate with investors. You may not even own a property. The owner of the property may be maybe a poor person who can develop it, and you find people who can develop. Assume probably maybe the investor you have found out about, he wants to build up maybe 50-story building. So you say, you guys, you own a plot. So out of the 50-story, I want you to give me 5 stories, and then you take 45. So and then those 5 you give the owner of the plot 1 store, and then you remain with 4. So you can own a 4-story building without even having a single cent. But it's something which you need to learn. There's a lot of books out there about real estate. It's not something that you wake up and start investing. It's not. It doesn't work that way. Otherwise, the bank will take over your house or your building, and then you'll be in trouble. The other thing you can do also, it's not easy. You can own stocks. You can own stocks. There are people who have been buying stocks from other companies. I think you have heard about this guy called Warren Buffett. Warren Buffett has been buying stock from other companies. He has never owned his own company. It's just buy. And he found himself is the owner of many companies because he becomes the majority shareholder. So it's not easy, as I said, but also it takes 25 to 30 years for you to start earning this passive income. So it takes time. It takes time. So think of, you have the real estate, you have the stock market or stock, buy shares and see what's going to happen. Some of you have bought shares from CRDB, from other companies here, or Vodacom, Tigo, and a sort of. But I don't know whether was it the right thing to do. But from my understanding, I will advise you to not to just rush, not because other people are buying. You need to think twice and see if the returns is what you are looking for. Yeah, it's not a matter of owning, but the other thing you can do, probably you are very intellectual. Maybe you can produce like a diamond, produce music, or you can write books. You see, so like Michael Jackson died a long time ago, but every year almost Michael Jackson is in the list of the richest people in the world. So if you are talented, you can market your talent. And start earning money from your talent. But also it takes time. It takes time. And how many of us maybe can write bestseller books, or can compose good music, or can whatever. So that's another way also you can really make a passive income. The entire thing is about passive income. At the end of the day, it's going to give you financial freedom. The other thing, if you are rich enough, you can invest in oil and gas and minerals. But how many of us can do that? This is a very capital intensive, and it's not easy for people to invest in gas because you find you may not even find what is underneath and think of because currently they are producing cars that don't need to use oil. So you might be having oil, and then sooner or later you'll be in trouble. But this also can really help you to achieve the so-called passive income. So now let me come back to you again. The issue now is how can we use other people's effort and time to cash in. Remember, we have people around. We have people around. That's why we are not created alone. But how do we take advantage of the people we are surrounded with? How do we take advantage? So it's better to invest in people. One guy once said, if you want a 1 year prosperity, just grow cereal, and if you want a 10-year prosperity, just grow trees. But if you want 100 years prosperity, you need to grow people. It's not easy. It's not easy to grow people because we are not taught in school to deal with strangers. Even in our family, they tell us don't talk to a stranger, do this and that. But this is the kind of world we live in. We live in the world of sharing. We are sharing now. We're on air now. We are sharing all these things. Think of the way we use social media. We are sharing. We are sharing. So this is the kind of world we live in. So you need to understand how you can really invest in people. So maybe let me come back to you guys. Maybe if you can share experience. Whoever is in this webinar, either you're in real estate or you're trading in stocks, whatever, I want you to share with us. Patricia Shirima, can you share with us something you experience about investment? Patricia Shirima, can you switch on your microphone? Patricia Shirima, you're on air now. We want to hear from you, your personal experience about business. And when we talk about investing in people, how do you understand it? Patricia Shirima. Okay, when you are ready, you let me know. Let me go to, I'm trying to find somebody. You guys, whoever is in this webinar and they want to share something, maybe Immaculata, can you share something, Immaculata? Immaculata, can you share something?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
share my experience.
we don't hear you properly. I think there is something wrong with your network. Yeah, I was expecting some guys from Ghana, Zambia, whatever. Zuhura, let me come back to you. Zuhura, can you chip in something so far? Zuhura. Zuhura Mustafa.
Hello.
Yes, yes. Go ahead.
Okay. First of all, I want to say thank you for this this meeting. It's really nice and well organized, and then I've learned new things from the videos that you played. So it's not about the degrees that people have, because many people have degrees these days, but they are just sitting around and waiting and thinking that maybe when they get the employees, when they get employed, they'll be having all the money and all the time they want, and they can do things they want. But that's not the issue, as Tracy shared in the clip you shared. You just have to have your goals and go after them. And yeah.
Okay, that's it. Anyway, so that was Zula. She was trying to come up with what she got from the entire session. You guys, as I said, we need people, and the world has like 7.8 billion. That's the population of the world. And as we speak, by the end of this year, people will be connected on the internet will be 3 billion. Think of 3 billion people are connected on the internet. On the other way, you have 3 billion on the social media. They are at your disposal. Think of how do we take advantage of that? Facebook alone has 2 billion people out there. What do we do on Facebook? My fellow Africans, what do? We take pictures, post them on Facebook. That's it. You have 1,000 people, 10,000 people, your friends. What are you doing with it? So this is a wake-up call. This is a wake-up call because we need to learn how we can leverage, how we can take advantage of living on this 21st century. So you guys, once we invest in people, everything will open up for you, because people are always there. People always, of course, there are bad people, good people, because God gave us something. You can spot easily those bad people. So what you need only quality people. And this is another challenge we are having, because we grew up in families, and they teach us we should do this and that and that, even if it works against our will. So I'm reminding you guys, if you really want to make it in this era, you better be yourself. You should be able to go on your way, because at the end of the day, you'll be alone. You'll be judged by what you did, not because of the degree and all stuff you're having. So I'm talking about how we can invest in people, and we can become entrepreneurs. We can do real estate. We can do maybe platform companies, and also we can do stock. We can buy stock. We can invest in oil and gas, sort of. But still, we can also do something. There is one more issue I haven't spoken about. It's about how we can use other people's time and effort. How can we invest in other people? That's the essence about this session. And you have heard of about team marketing, sort of. And I have somebody from Nigeria now. Let me try to find it. Sholape, I can't find you. I want you to speak something. Sholape, where are you? I'm expecting somebody from Nigeria. Should be in shortly. So I don't know. Sholape, I don't see you. Can you identify yourself? Anyway, so this is it's about how we can use other people's time and effort. How can we leverage yourself? Because if you open up a company and you are on your own, when you die and that's it, anything can happen. You may not even die. You may get sick. You may have maybe mild stroke. You may whatever. And we need to find a way. We need to find a way. And this is what most of the people are advising us. So it's a model that you don't need to have an office space. You don't need to sell product. It's not about selling product. It's not about selling products. The whole issue is about finding what people want, finding what is missing in people. So you need to learn, because this is a people's business. So because most people, they think it's very easy, because it's easier to get in, it's easier to get out, but it's not that much easier, because you are dealing with people. You have to learn on how to deal with people, and that is a very challenging thing. And let me find out if I can find somebody here from Nigeria. Shorape, I want you to share something, but I can't find you. But anyway, by the time you join, probably I'll be done. So what I'm talking about is about we need to find a way how we can leverage ourselves. But I said it's not easy, because you are dealing with people. It's not about selling products. It's not about buying, selling. No. You don't sell anything. You don't sell anything. What you do, you just build people. Find what people want. You see, solve their challenges, and then you're there. You build a very, very strong network. That's what the rich people do. So I'm talking about building a legacy, not about having maybe paycheck. I'm talking about building a legacy. You build a legacy, you are helping others. Even if you are gone, those guys will stay, and the business will still stand. But in Africa, it's like this is a new thing to them, because most of the people, they don't want to understand that it takes time. It needs time. You need to invest in time. You see, you need to get the right people, like what Jesus did. He got 12 disciples, but mind you, out of the 12 also there was Judah inside. So you may, here and there, you may bump up with the wrong people. So how this model works, I want you to understand. I'm assuming that you are having think of, in order for you to really understand, probably most of you guys have a bank account, and you know how much it takes if you go to ask for a loan from the bank. So how this model works, you don't need to have the money in the bank. If you can just see properly on the screen, assume you want to be earning $100 a month, and if that money was from the bank, and that bank pays 5% interest, you see, it means you'll be earning $100 a month, okay? And if the bank interest rate is 5%, it means you need to deposit in the bank 24,000 USA dollars. So you deposit 24,000 USA dollars in the bank, that pays 5% interest annually. It means you'll be receiving $100. You see, let's go to, if you are making $1,000, if you're making $1,000 a month, it's like you are having $240,000 in the bank. The way the model works, you don't need to have the money in the bank. So whoever is doing this kind of model and is earning $100 every month, it means if it was in the bank, it means this guy has a fixed deposit or saving account of 24,000 USA dollars. I know people who are earning $3,000 a month in the industry. If you are earning $3,000 in a month, it's like you are having 720,000 USA dollars. So you can see how these things work. It's very easy for people to get in, but also it's very easy for the people to quit. It's the model that can really change the entire life of the people in Africa who are jobless. If you're in this webinar and you are struggling, you better find a way, because you know what? It takes 5 to 10 years. If you can just spare your time, 5 to 10 years, day in, day out. You're saying 10 years is a lot, it's a lot of years, whatever. Think of, you spend how many years in school? Almost 17 to 20 years. And how much money do you end up? We know all the salaries in Africa. You know, maybe in Angola, because life in Angola is a bit more expensive, but in other countries, very few people, graduates, are making even $1,000. Yeah? I was in Sierra Leone. Sierra Leone graduates are making $100 to $200 a month. Think of, you're having an MBA and then you are earning $200 a month, and you are very happy with that, spending 20 years in school. And then you are having somebody who didn't even go to school is earning $5,000 a month. So it's like he has 1.2 million USA dollar in the bank. So I want you to understand, if you can take a photo of this, just take a photo and spare your time. I'm not talking here theories, I'm talking something which is really doable, and we have people who have done it. So it's just a matter of understanding how the system works. And doing so, you will also be able to tap it. So what's that? It means if you really spare your time and take it seriously, you know what? You won't die in poverty at all. And those people will come when you die. They will say, because of you, our life have changed. Because of you, I've managed to take my kids to school. Because of you, I did that. Because of you. That's the kind of things we'll be talking about. But if you're on your own and your own, it won't work. So as I said, although anybody can participate, but it's not easy. But you start on the same level with everybody else. They don't ask you your background, which school did you go, what's your religion, what's your education, what's your financial condition, and sort of. You're just there. The issue is, are you teachable? You see, it's about helping. It's not easy because you're dealing with people. It's not easy to deal with people. But what I can assure you, if you can really focus into it and put in your best, it's just a matter of time. It's a matter of time. Whatever dream you might be having, and doing so, you find yourself, you have a huge organization, and from there now you can do so many things. So you can decide to become an investor, or you can just remain in a business owner, sort of. So this is one way on how you can have a very stable source of income and to do other things. So you use it like a platform, like a bridge, take you to whatever you want to do. There's no limitation. if you want to make more money, help more people. But it's not easy. It's not easy because people give up, and because maybe they don't have big dreams, so they are with you today, tomorrow they're out. But it's okay. It's okay. But that's how it is. So I want now to come back to you guys. Some of you have been dealing with team marketing. I want you to share your experience because I've been sharing what I know and what I believe in. I want you also to share in your experience, and I don't know where should I go. Uh, Whoever is in this webinar and you want to share something about the team marketing, the room is open for you guys. The room is open for you guys, and maybe Ferdinandi, can you share something, Ferdinandi? Hello, Ferdinand, can you share something? Oh, Ferdinandi, you on air now? Hello, Ferdinandi, can you?
Hello?
Yes, go ahead. Go ahead, Ferdinandi. Don't know what's wrong with Ferdinand. You guys, whoever is in this webinar and want to share something, because this is not a one-way, it's a two-way. Just put, can you switch on your microphone? Whoever want to share with us. I want you to share your experience. I was talking about the team marketing thing, and I don't know. I don't know, the issue is the language, the issue is what. You guys, I want you to chip in. Because now it's just on my own, and I'm not a lecturer. I'm not a lecturer. I'm just here to inspire you and to help you understand that you're in the right place at the right time, regardless of what is happening in your life. You see, we don't live in the past.
Hey, hello.
Yes, Samuel Mulongo.
Yes, can you ask me?
Hello, Samuel. Oh, it's gone. I don't know. Samuel wanted to share something. Anyway, so I don't know where should I go now. Baraka Ngomasi, can you share something, Baraka?
Okay, thank you. Okay, I've been well listening on this. I think, for example, this issue of marketing, many people have been trying to do this. I think in this small business or in these companies, most of this, maybe they are doing the market on the side of employment. But I don't think if that marketing on the part of employment can be helpful, like if you can organize it just by yourself. And most of African youth have been seeking for employment through their educational degrees, or they have diplomas or whatever the case. But I don't think if it is helpful. For example, now in Tanzania we have this problem of unemployment. Most of youth here are not employed, and you will find most of them are using maximum energy on seeking for the employment, whether on the private sectors or companies. But I think it's one of the issues that is can't be helpful. And even those who are just sending their kids to schools, and maybe they are implementing wrong idea to them. I think education should help somebody to be just aware, to be on the level understanding that we need to be. But I don't think if the education can help somebody to be successful. Through this training, even it reminded me so many things. That we can see even the time management, how people they spend their times. For example, in Africa now, like you say, I don't think is there any country in Africa that when you want somebody employed can find maybe more than $1,000 through employment per month. This is very difficult. So this we can see how employment can't even help somebody to be rich. The issue here, I think people should invest. They should plan well their goals. They should realize themselves. And I think the main issue here is the commitment. Most of people need to be committed. If you are educated, then yes, you plan to invest and you don't commit yourself, you will find even if you are in the business, you quit after some few months or some few times later, you quit. So that's all from my side. But I think if people should well focus on what to do, and they should invest it, they should use well their time, and even those people who are using most of their time on social medias, they should use it positively. For example, you say most in Facebook has like 3 billion people on Facebook, but you will find most of people are just there to post the pictures and that all. But we have many ways we can use Facebook to earn money. For example, we can post the product through the Facebook to just acquire more customers. So we can use it as the part of market. Then we can even use the social medias for learning. For example, now, this is how we can use it now. This is online learning. This is a good example on how people should spend their time. And I think in Africa, to this one, is like the darkness to this. The social media came, but education never came first. So I think we should keep on reminding them and educating them about this. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much, Baraka. That was Baraka, and he was trying to share the challenges in Africa and the way people are misusing the social medias. They're just there to instead of doing some productive stuff, they're just there having fun and maybe terrorizing women and other stuff. Let me go to Leila. Leila in Arusha, what can you say? You can see the picture on the screen. The entire family, everybody is busy. And Leila, what can you say about it? And your personal experience about life in general. Leila, you're on air now. What's wrong with Leila? Okay. Let's go back. Leila, do you hear me? You're on air now, Leila. I was asking your personal experience about the social media and how you can use other people's efforts and time. Leila, there are some problems with connection in Arusha. Let's go back again to Shirima. Patricia Shirima, probably you can share something now. Patricia Shirima, can you switch on your microphone? We want to hear from you, Shirima. She's no, the audio is the problem. Anyway, so you guys, I don't know who in a position apart from Baraka and who else. I could not, can't get you guys. Anyway, let me proceed a little bit. Maybe you chip in when I'm about to finish. So what I was talking about is about what can we do. Maybe probably you don't have cash. You are not much educated because the way the model works, you are not on your own. You are not your own. You're having a group of people who are working with you. And so whatever challenges you're having or whatever weaknesses you're having, there are some people in the team that will be having a lot of strength that it can really overcome your weaknesses. And so you find by one or another you benefit, together. When you work together, it comes very good because you're in a group and you can't compete with a group. Think of the way they play football. This is a team sport. So it's the same with investment. Investment also is a team sport. So you need to have people. You need to have people. Unfortunately, our education system is far, far behind. Mind you, our education system started a long, long time ago during industrial revolution. They wanted people to go to work to the factories or to industries, and now the robots they have taken over almost everything. If you send up late, I spoke about the artificial intelligence, the way things are changing. So you can really become an investor. You can become an investor. You can invest in people, and then in 5 to 10 years you'll be smiling yourself. You see, so it's up to you. It's up to you. Although we can put fingers on our education system, but we don't need to go through all that, because once you understand that the kind of education you're having is not helping you, there's a lot of books out there. There's a lot of mentors. There's a lot of coaches out there. You have a lot of information on the internet. If you can just go on Google, you can get everything you want. You see, so that's how it is. So the issue now, we should learn on how to make our own choices, because you are born maybe looking like your parents, but you know what? By the time you die, you'll be looking like your choice. So their choice will make your life. So make a choice now. Don't wait tomorrow. You may not be there. Tomorrow may not come. Don't wait until you got married. Until I do this tomorrow. It doesn't work. It doesn't work. So the issue now is to find a way on how to be yourself, and also which platform can you take advantage of. At the end of the day, we find ourselves also smiling. So the issue is to help others. The issue is to help others. But as I said, it's not easy. It's not easy. So find a way on how you can sharpen your skills, especially when you master people's skills. You'll be in a better position to really become unstoppable, because once you become unstoppable, what is in there? Nobody can stop you, whether the circumstance or the whatever politicians or government, nobody can stop you. So so you guys, I want to really inspire you and challenge you to get out of your comfort zone and do your thing. Just get out there, be willing to be teachable, because if you really want to change your life, you should be able to be taught. Let other people be your mentor. Let other people be your teacher. They're going to show you on how you can do all other things. And just to remind you, we always admire Western countries. We admire Europe. We admire America, United States of America. But those guys, they risked their life. They did a lot of stuff. They are very courageous. They have creativity and have determination. So we can make Africa a better place. Unfortunately, we run away from Africa, but the white people, when they come to Africa, they don't want to go back. Think of what happened to those Dutchies when they went to South Africa. Think of during colonial era, the British, the German, they came to East Africa. They didn't want to go back. So for us, we ran away, and we think maybe this is a black continent, it's a dark continent, there's nothing. But my friend, Africa has a huge manpower. We have a high percentage of young people who are under 30. And most of you are in this webinar, probably you're under 30. And what are you doing with it? So you better find ways on how you can really cash in. How you can cash in. And in doing so, you use other people's time and effort. So I'm almost finishing my session now, but whatever stuff you're gonna think of and make and decide to do it, make sure you reach the end. Make you reach the end. It's not a matter of being busy. You have to be productive, because if you don't reach the final destination, and then what's the use of being there? But in doing so, also you need to enjoy the journey. Because if you're not enjoying the journey, it means what else? You need to do something which you really love it. And in order to remind you, I want you to take you back in 1968, when a Tanzanian guy did something which was unthinkable. Of course, he came last, but his last position made him famous to this date. So I want you to listen to this clip here before I finish, so you can really learn. Because I said you have to finish. It's not a matter of starting. It's not a matter of being busy. You have to finish. Just have a word from this guy.
Long-distance runner John Stephen Akwari represented Tanzania in the 1968 Summer Olympics in Mexico City with an unforgettable performance in the marathon. He did not set a new world record. He did not even earn a medal. In fact, by the time he crossed the finish line, the sun had set, the winner had been crowned over an hour earlier, and most of the fans had left the stadium. But Akwari's performance still inspires to this day. Earlier in the race, while jockeying with other runners for position, Akwari was knocked to the ground, badly injuring his knee and shoulder. He had every reason to pull out, just as 18 of the other 75 athletes did by the time the race was over. But a voice called from within to go on, and so he went on. A cheer rose up from the small crowd that welcomed Akwari as he limped across the finish line in last place, the makeshift bandage on his knee flapping in the wind. He was fatigued, cramping, dehydrated, and disoriented, but he had finished. When asked why he would continue running a race he knew he had already lost, Akwari replied, "My country did not send me 5,000 miles to start the race. They sent me 5,000 miles to finish the race." John Stephen Akwari was able to endure because he had a clear vision of his purpose. His decision to finish the race did not come after his devastating fall. Enduring to the end was a decision he made long before he was injured, long before he left Tanzania. He trained to be a finisher, not just a participant, and so he kept going. In the decades since that summer evening in 1968, John Stephen Akwari's words and example continue to inspire countless athletes and many others who have a challenging race to run. His story teaches us that sometimes winning simply means finishing. It teaches us that we can make it through life's rough spots, one step, one day at a time. It teaches us to decide now that we will endure with courage and honor to the end of life's marathon.
Okay, that was a story about Johnny Akwari Steveni. He was a Tanzanian, and he really left a mark in the world. He's still living now, but as he said, it's not a matter of to start the race; you have to finish. So whatever stuff you are trying to do, my friend, even if you are struggling now, it doesn't mean that you are doing the wrong. What you need to understand, that's how it takes to reach to the pinnacle. You are going to encounter a lot of challenges along the way, but nothing just happens. Whatever challenge you are in, there is a lesson. It's a lesson, and unfortunately, we don't want to learn. And whatever challenge you might be having, it might not be my challenge. So if you can just come together, it means I can solve your challenge very easily. And also maybe I might be having a challenge on my side, and if I come across you, you can solve my challenge very easily. So we need to learn on how to work together, and that's how the world works. Think of the gadget you are using to watch this webinar. It has all the stuff made from Europe, from US, from China, all over. So that's the kind of world we live in. So my brothers and sisters, we better learn on how to really make it. As I said at the beginning, if you're having a smartphone and still you are poor, it means you are doing something wrong with your cell phone. So it's better to find a ways on how we can cash in. And as I said, you don't need to have the office. What you need, you just need to have a network. You need to have an internet on it. You need to have people to mentor you, to guide you. You see, with all the books around, with all the videos in the YouTube, you become unstoppable. So if you just join us with our webinar now, we're almost finishing. We covered about the rise of artificial intelligence, how the artificial intelligence is changing the world. Now we are having self-driven cars. Instead of using oil, car using electricity. You see, so and instead of oil being the most valuable stuff, data is more valuable than even oil, than even gold. You see now, because oil and gold, its value is determined by demand. You supply and demand, but not the data. The data is how do you use it? How do you use it? Whenever we like something on Facebook, whenever we share something, whatever click you are making, that is something valuable. People are making money out of it. So that's how it is. So you guys, before I finish, maybe Zuhula, if you have something to add on before we close the session. Zuhula, you're on air now. I'm trying to wrap up the session. Zuhula, can you add something probably before I finish?
Hello?
Yes.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you again, but I can add something. It's a personal experience from using a smartphone. A lot of people have good phones. They take good pictures and they think that's all it. But it's not that just about taking pictures and posting them. Africa is inclusion. We can do a lot of things online through our phone. So I'm actually using Huawei. It's a very, very small phone. But the good thing is that it's not about how big or how beautiful your phone is. It's actually about the details and the stuff you put in your phone. So my phone has a lot of trainings, a lot of picture images, and they all have messages. So I used to share them on LinkedIn. And good thing is that there are a lot of people who are, I can even say some are over 40, over 50, and they're amazed, like, how do you get these pictures? And they've been wondering where can they get free online training. So I've been sharing them with them, the videos with them through my phone. And another thing is that I do business through using my phone. I'm involved in team marketing, and I train people on how they can maintain their health online. So I have a blog and I'm using that. And the good thing is that when you're using your phone, those people, when they see the post, when they read the articles online, they don't even know that you're using your phone. They're just amazed by the knowledge you have. So I encourage you all, if you are maybe unemployed right now, or you are employed but you're not paid enough, or maybe you're just thinking about what should you do to be more productive in your life, I strongly suggest that you embrace team marketing, make your time to learn about it, but learn about the best companies in your region and find one and go to work with it. I cannot tell you how amazing your life will be in the next 5 years, but if you learn right and you do what's supposed to be done and you do it correctly and honestly, you'll be unstoppable. Thank you, Mr. Alphonse.
Okay, that was Zuhura Mustafa. Thank you very much. Leila, I was trying to find you. I don't know if you are still there. Leila, there was a problem. Can you share something, Leila? We are closing up now. Leila,
Hello.
Yes, go ahead.
First and foremost, this webinar has been empowering, motivating as well. So maybe to just add up and to wind up, it's probably anything that we embrace, anything that we learn, and when we get out there to do what we have to do, we just have to look at it like quitting is just not an option for us. So we just have to go and get what we want. Yeah.
What can you say about people, the way they are using social media?
Sorry?
About the social medias, is there any way we can benefit from the social media?
Yes, there's a lot of ways of benefiting in social media. Like when you get on social media like Facebook or Instagram and you have your business, it's a good way of putting your business there on the social media instead of just putting random jokes, random pictures, which is not even bringing in money for you. So it's a very good platforms for us to be using social media to advertise our businesses, and it's a very good way for us to be making money. Even me, I've also had personal experience with making money through social media. I advertise my business on social media, and that's where I get different clients. So it's really a good platform for us to use it positively.
Okay, and then
Yeah.
what can we do with our young graduates? Because they are out there still searching for jobs, and they've been looking for years and years, and there's no jobs. How can we help them?
Our young graduates,
Yes.
they need more of these, I would call them like pep talks, but they're really not pep talks. I think it's more like even going there before they even come out, giving them this kind of talks, motivational talks, telling them that there is also other thing than what you're studying for. You can have a career in this other kind of way. There's different, we should open their eyes in different kind of ways that they can make money, not only that they come out of there thinking, I only have to get a job for me to have work, for me to have a good life, I only need to be employed. We should, they should be reached out that there is more beyond employment. There is more beyond that. So they need that kind of talk, they need that kind of motivation, they need inspiration, they need that thing from leaders like you guys, leaders like us. They need that. They need that. They need people to talk to them. That's what they need. And even social media can be used to reach out to them as well, not only going there to the universities. There are various ways of reaching out to them, but they need people to talk to them.
And then what can you say about our education system? Is there something we can do to change it?
There's a lot about education system. Sometimes it's corrupted, sometimes it's not corrupted, but there's nothing much you can do about it. There's nothing much you can change. But we just have to be talking to our kids, even back at home. It's also part of them learning from us. It's part of education, even from their homes. Like I said, we talk to them. It's still talking to them and empowering them. And that's all. It's more of talking to them.
So how do you see yourself in the next 10 years?
Wow. That's a broad question. But I have my own dreams that I see myself into. I'm not sure how I can share them with over the webinar, but I do have my own dreams.
So,
Yeah.
so you'll be a millionaire in the next 10 years, right?
Oh, definitely. And 10 years is far.
Okay, that's good. That's good. So what do you want to
Yeah.
hear from us next time in the webinar?
In the next webinar?
Yes.
In the next webinar, it would be good to hear more about the visionary side of you as a leader. What can you take it, how can I put it? You as a leader, how can you reach out to your people out there in the communities, and what can we really do for the community to know what they can do with their lives, how to better their lives as well.
Okay. So the issue now is the language, because I have a lot of people in this webinar, but they can't even talk. They understand what you are talking about, but when it comes for them to speak, it's a problem. They will go back
Yes.
into our education system, and they have degrees, but they can't even express themselves. You see now? So probably we'll do it in
Yeah.
Swahili so that they can really participate. Because it makes no sense. You are speaking the language the other people can't even participate. You see?
True that.
Yes.
True that.
Probably we'll go back in Swahili and see how many people can participate.
Yeah, since language can be a barrier sometimes.
Yeah, it is. It is. Most of even our lecturers, if you go to the class and listen how they are communicating, it's terrible. Anyway, thank you, Leila, for sharing, and I hope to see you again to our next session.
Thank you too, Alphonse.
Okay, bye. And now, before we finish, I have this Kibonge Mwepesi. You just signed in. Can you share something? Witness, Kibonge Mwepesi. Kibonge Mwepesi, do you have something to share with us? Oh, she's not there. Yes. Yes, go ahead.
Yes. Yeah, I was late because I had some stuff I was reading. But one of the things which I think also we should have, I hope that the government would do this thing in schools. They should give like more of entrepreneurism education in school as one of the subjects that people can be reading, because every single thing they learn, it is guiding them into becoming people who are going to work for other people, or it is guiding them into being doctors, nurses, you know, being having those so-called professionalisms, which nowadays they don't even have jobs. Even if they graduate with their degrees, they get to be just people who are in the street and doing nothing, confused at the same time. Yeah, so this is one of the things I think these kids they need.
Okay, thank you for sharing. So, you guys, it was nice having you in our session. I think it is time now to end our webinar. So, I want to thank all of you for being with us. I hope to be with you in our next session. So, our next session, we will organize it in Swahili so that most of you can participate properly. Yeah, thank you very much and good night.